Alright, that's just my testing. I know it's pretty fucked up. I'm just making a bunch of like rape sounds or something. Um, Alright, yeah. Okay, those are in there. But anyway, guys, there's gonna be another live stream here yet again. This is the second one here, but technically gonna be the first on the channel. Just I think that freezing thing is still gonna be happening. I don't know a way around that just yet. Trying to make sure my Ethernet's in there. It feels like it's in there. Yeah, it just like fucking freezes there. 1 second there, folks. Be right back. Literally not going anywhere. I'm just going over here. You can still hear me. But anyway, we're gonna try streaming in 30 FPS this time and see if that makes a difference. It may or may not. But I hear the audio. I know the audio was fine. The audio doesn't get affected. Oh, we got our first viewer. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. We're going to be shitting on Game of Thrones here in about just a minute. But we're just configuring a couple things on my end. So, thank you so much for coming in. I'm going to just text somebody real quick, live on stream. That's a good timing here. My boy here, Rye Guy. I let him know what's goody. Get him in here, and we might get up to 2 viewers tonight, big numbers. But anyways, the title says there, by the way, so we are going to be since I am going to be roasting Game of Thrones there. It's pretty self-explanatory. That's definitely going to be spoilers. There's really no doubt about that in my mind. If you're not familiar with the newest episode there, or the newest season, you are in the wrong stream. You literally are, because like I said, I will be roasting that, and you will be being spoiled. So without any further ado, let's get right into it here. So I want to talk about Game of Thrones and why I just think this is completely weak. This season just sucks. Hold on here. Clip block bad words in chat by avoiding them to the blacklist. Whatever. Get rid of those. Okay. Alright, so we're good. Okay, let's do it. So, basically speaking here, if you guys are watching here, and this will be on the channel after the stream so people can continue to watch. So if you're watching that way or live, thank you. So anyway, that being said, this season's been, like, I thought episode 3 was bad, okay? And I did like a rant on it, but I want to recap that, and then I kind of want to talk about episode 4 a little bit. So, episode 3, if you're not aware, when episode 1, the Game of Thrones released, right? They came up with this big premise that they were gonna have these White Walkers, right? They were gonna come in, the army of the dead, right? And they were gonna come in and just take everyone out. That was kind of like the general idea, and one thing I will say, by the way, now this is later in the show, that the show did really, really well, and that the book didn't have, was Hardhome, right? Which was like this wildling encampment on the shore, and it was one of the bigger ones, right? And ironically, they did that amazingly, because they actually showed the threat. And it's not even really a battle at that location. It's a massacre, right? They get slaughtered. And Jon and the honorable men of the Night's Watch barely get out alive, with barely any of the wildlings. I think they get like 5,000. But for the record, there's a lot more there. So, that kind of being said, they're fucked, right? That point in the show. And the whole show is leaning up to that. Like, season 2, they're already walking, like, in the direction of the wall. I don't know how they haven't got there until season 8. And then season 8 comes along, and this is the whole premise, right? Where they left, is they were finally coming in. I'm not lying, I really wanted them to win. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Like, or build into the Knights, figure out why they're even doing it. Because when you have, like, just a nameless villain that's doing something and there's no motive behind it, right? That's kind of why that happens, right? There's no explanation. You don't really know. You don't get behind them. I'm going to do another live rant. It might be tomorrow night. It's a hot night, right? Saturday. And I want to talk about Thanos, so Infinity War and Endgame, so there's going to be spoilers there, but not tonight, so don't worry about it. But we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night, probably. And I honestly got to say, man, like, that's how you make a villain, right? So when you come into the... technically, I don't actually know if they called him the king, but, the Night King there, right? I don't know. Like, they didn't have, like, a real title, and we didn't technically find out his actual identity, per se. But that being said, I was a real big fan of that, right? I really wanted them to come in. They were just going to cut everyone down. And that would have been sick. It would have been glorious, dude. Like, John, like, I mean, I guess it would kind of be stupid because all their efforts would be in vain. But I think it would have really built up, like, the threat and why they were coming there in the first place. And, like, they literally lost the first battle. Like, how upsetting, like, how upset do you got to be? Like, you tell me. Like, you watch that show, right? This whole time. Technically speaking, it's like 10,000 years in their time, right? White Walkers finally come in. You're like, shit's getting real, right? White Walkers are coming in. They're going to kill everyone. And first battle, they're out. So not to mention, like, the strategic purposes of that were just, they were garbage. And the lighting was garbage. I mean, I guess it tried to build onto the idea that, like we can't see anything, we're fucked. But, a lot of the times you literally just couldn't see anything, so you don't even know as a viewer what's going on. So that all kind of being said, you've probably seen that. If you're watching this by now, one person, thank you very much, by the way. Now episode 4, okay? Episode 4. So I find it really funny that people are, like, right into that. Like, there's always a group of people that will watch a show and they're, like, right on top of it. They're like, what the hell's going on here? Why are they doing this? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, strategically, that doesn't make sense. Logically, that doesn't make any sense. And I get that, right? And then there's a group of audience members that are just watch the episode and they're like, you know what, man, that was sick. Like, this went down. Arya killed, the main guy. Like, they don't even know the names half the time, right? They're just kind of like, like, that was sick, and they're freaking out and having a good time, right? That's me, like, the first 10 minutes after the episode, right? I'll watch it and I'll be like, oh my god, right? That was good. And then what'll happen is I'll kind of, like, go back a little bit and, like, I'll just think about it, right? I'll keep thinking about the episode and I'm like, you know what? Actually, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? And there was a couple things that I missed, and I actually ended up watching a video and finding out. So for one, in episode 4, they actually have a coffee cup in one of the scenes. I thought it was really funny. I didn't know about that, but it's like literally right on the table. Like, Daenerys is just sitting there, and it's just like a Starbucks coffee. Oh, 2 viewers, by the way. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, they got like a Starbucks coffee in there. That's just embarrassing as shit. Especially for like this big of a show, right? And also, by the way, I read an article where George R.R. Martin was saying that it should have been 12 seasons. Game of Thrones should have been 12 seasons and not 8, right? To get as much content as they needed in there. And I kind of fully agree, man. Like, I understand on their end there are things happening. But you need that time, right? You definitely need that time. And, unfortunately, that's not the case of what's happening here, which is rather unfortunate. So yeah, that kind of being said, and that as a whole, just that one part, I know that's obviously that's not a big deal. You don't think it is. So the other one I have to talk about it is the dragons flying in. So they're already like close enough to the castle as is. They got the fleet going in, and D&D there, I don't know, Dan and Dave or whatever their names are, they're the directors there. I was listening to it. It's really funny now that I think about it because apparently one of them were saying after the episode thing, right? They talk about like the episode and their thoughts on it, kind of thing, what they were going for. They said that Daenerys forgot about the Iron Fleet, but the Iron Fleet didn't forget about her. I think that's really weird because like that whole thing is like, we're gonna go march on the capital. Yeah, I'm just gonna forget about the fleet. Like that's like half the forces right there. Yeah, and then they've got all like the catapults on there. I don't know what you call them. The crossbows, the big crossbows for the dragons. They've all got them mounted on top of the boats. I think that was actually kind of cool, not gonna lie. And especially taking out the other boats like that too. That was really smart. But the dragons, like, they don't see them. Nobody sees that shit. Dude, it's a whole fleet down there. You're telling me that they're just flying up, right? They're just flying. And like, she never thought about just, like, looking down. And then not to mention that, like, she's flying straight at them and they can't hit them with an arrow, but they're flying like wherever, and 3 of them get into the other dragon and just take them right out. Which, by the way, was pretty cool. They did that very well. But I just don't think, again, like maybe she should have saw some ships and been like, oh fuck, right? Or at least like the dragons should have noticed them. Like it's like nobody there was like paying attention, right? And then all of a sudden they got the fleet. So they capture Missandei, and it's a good point again that I heard is like how they even know she was there, right? Like I don't understand that. But that being said, they've captured her, right? Somehow they got her. Everybody else washed up on shore. They got Missandei. They just got her, right? And Daenerys is pissed. It makes sense. There's a little bit of talking going back and forth about maybe she's not the right one, and that John maybe should be the one because everybody likes John. And speaking of John, before we get back to Missandei, I'm really pissed, man. The fucking did they not have the budget for this? Like seriously though, they had Ghost in there, fucking chewed off ear, looks all upset, right? You like Ghost? Ghost has been around since like episode 1. Technically speaking, yeah, didn't even see him off, just kind of looked over and then just kept walking. Like, I don't understand that. Like, and it's not him, right? I mean, I guess you could hate the character. I don't think it's just the character in general. It's just the script. It's just, this is what we need you to do. It's like, I just don't honestly think, I just don't think they hit the budget, right? They put a fucking zombie polar bear in there, right? Because they wanted a zombie polar bear, which was cool. But I'm just saying, like, you should have the budget for that because that would make sense, right? Like, that is something that needs to be happening. Is that farewell or, like, something? But, god damn, like, just to not see the direwolf off, that's fucking stupid. So, again, I'm very interested because I talked a little bit about the stuff in my review. But, even the forces that are still alive, there's like a whole bunch of people there. Like they lost like 50% of their men. Dude, like the whole thing, it looked like they had 10 people. And it was like characters we knew. It was like Brienne, it was Jaime, it was Podrick, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, they got like this, they still got people, right? They still got Unsullied. They still got, the Dothraki. I'm shocked. I didn't see any of that shit going down. And now they're like building up this drama, of Daenerys, okay, John, you can't tell anyone that you're technically the heir to the throne, but he tells people, and now like 8 people know. So like clearly that's just gonna get out, and then everyone's just gonna know that John's got the bitter claim to it. Daenerys' whole thing has just been gone. So now they're playing like fucking, it's like a soap opera, right? They're all going, it's like a little circle, right? It's like, okay, we got this going on over here. Sansa doesn't like, Daenerys. Daenerys and Jon are having a bad time. Jon's trying to trust his quote-unquote family. Arya's not coming back. There's a lot of that. And I find there's just like a lot of forced conversations and reunions of old characters. Like, it doesn't feel as natural and as fluent. Like, this whole season has been askew. And I don't think anybody could argue me on that point. This whole season is just, it's been off, right? And it's just very noticeable. I don't think it's horrible, but I think it's extremely noticeable to anybody who's been a fan of the series. Just saying. So that kind of being said, man, I was fucking griped when Missandei's up on, okay, she's up on like the battlements, right, of this wall. And Cersei's up there. And like Daenerys comes in, it looks like she's got like 40 Unsullied, most. The one dragon that lives, and like Tyrion and Varys. And like Tyrion goes up, talks to Qyburn, right? Not getting anything there. That's understandable. Goes up to tries to talk to Cersei, like plead because she's got a kid. And I swear to God, man, I thought season 2 Tyrion was so smart. Like he was outwitting people like left, right, and center, dude. He was smart. And like now he's just like, okay, like, she didn't take her army over. She's obviously not going to surrender, but he's sitting there like trying to get her to do something. Maybe because Missandei was up there. I don't see it happening. I'm actually glad they killed her. At least they showed something that they're like, okay, we're willing to do something here. But yeah, they kill Missandei, and then I'm like, dude, like fire the arrows into that crowd of Unsullied. I'm sorry, Grey Worm was there too. But yeah, like fire the arrows into that crowd, right? And like take them out. Like what were they thinking, man? Like they're all there, right? They're all there. Like 20 Unsullied, Daenerys, and a dragon, right? And then like a dwarf, a guy with no, Varys with no cock, in Grey Worm. Well, that's on basically the whole army with no penis. And you're telling me they've got all the archers up there, all the big crossbows for the dragons, right? They easily could have just lofted a few down there. It's Cersei, dude. She blew up the set with like everybody in there, innocents, you name it, right? Got rid of them all, right? Like, you're telling me she poisoned Robert, King Robert. You're telling me that's it? Like, I'm very shocked that Cersei hasn't like just expressed that and was like, you know what, like I'm cold, you know, I'm probably still torturing what's her face downstairs, like the nun, right? And yeah, like I'm cold and I'm gonna do this, and that's what I was wanting her to do. I was like, dude, just do it, like just do it, like take them out, you know. Sadly, Game of Thrones has literally become what a lot of people were trying to avoid watching in the first place, was like a predictable fantasy TV show, right? Like, you exactly know what's gonna happen. Like, dude, there is no way. You can't tell me there's no way that Arya doesn't kill off Cersei. It's either Arya or Jaime. I think Jaime will die with Cersei. To be fair, I don't think he's actually gonna kill her now, but I think he'll die with her. And Arya will probably do it, because she's going down to King's Landing for unfinished business. Yeah, like, man, like, I am speechless. Like, you gotta realize, like, I love this show, man. I have, look at this. Look at this. Ready? Let's turn the webcam. Look at that. You see that up on the wall? That's all the houses, man, or the main houses, and all their sayings. Okay? That should show you something. I'm a fan, right? I like Game of Thrones. And I'm telling you, man, they've butchered this season. And you know, and I understand, right? Though, I get it. So, I'm not going to come here and be like, you know, on this high horse. No, man, I get it, right? Things happen. And whether it be budget or time or I don't know, whatever, that's it. A couple other little things here. So, like, Sir Bronn the Blackwater comes in there. So, somehow, okay, he gets from, I presume it was King's Landing, right, he was at. Or could have been the Red Keep, I'm not sure. And he gets down to the north, okay? With a big crossbow, Lannister crossbow. Hopefully he was hiding that somehow. He just waltzes into, like, it looks like basically just some room. He just knows Jaime and Tyrion are there, and instead of just taking him out, basically just makes another deal. Like, that is, to me, that's completely just out of Bronn's perspective. Like, I don't feel like anything, it just felt really awkward. Like, watching that scene, it was, like, just really awkward. You know, it wasn't a scene that I would probably want to go back and rewatch. Like, it just didn't look like it was very fluent. You know, it was forced, is what I mean. But you're telling me, like, he just walked in there, like, nobody noticed him, like, nothing? Like, I just don't understand. And then, like, the double cross comes in. Like, come on, man. Like, this is weak. This whole thing, like, this whole season is just, it's weak. And, you know, and there's really nothing else to say on it. Like, it's just, it's weak. You know, I don't know, you know, what as far as I can tell on the internet, it's been bad. There's a lot of videos out there right now that are just roasting the show. But, so I'm really just glad I don't stand in a minority. Like, I could sit here and rant all day, right? But, like, at the end of the day, like, this show it just is what it is. You know, I don't think there's any bouncing back in the next couple episodes. I think it's just gonna be what it is, right? I think what is there? I don't even know. Two? Yeah, because it's over in the 19th. I think it is the 19th or something like that it ends. So I think there's 2 left, or... Yeah, that's what it is, because there's 6 episodes. So, like, what are they going to do in 2 episodes, right? They're going to have some battle at King's Landing that nobody cares about. You know, maybe have a character die off or 2. Maybe, like, if we're lucky. And then it's just going to be like everyone's just going to be singing and having a good time. I was kind of shocked at Jaime's thing with Bran. I was a little surprised by that. But at the same time, again, I've read online, a lot of people agreed with it. Like, they kind of liked it. So maybe that's not so bad, but I mean I'm not gonna let that sway my opinion of it. I thought it was just really weird because I really thought he was getting that redemption, but yeah, I guess it's just not there, you know. I don't know. I don't know. That's right, Elon. But I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't really have any predictions per se. I can't really think off the top of my head for one. Now that I think about it, it's just kind of up in the air. I don't really know what I would say is going to happen next, but you know what? At the end of the day, yeah, it is what it is, right? And I think I don't know. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do anything with it at all. That's gonna be interesting, and it's just gonna suck, right? I think the whole thing is just gonna bomb. They're gonna do the last two episodes and just shit all's gonna happen, right? And they're just gonna get roasted for it. Like if you go online. If you go online on like any subreddit or anything like that at all, right? That's all it is, right? It's just Game of Thrones. It's just getting flack. And unfortunately, like if they kind of kept pace with how they were doing, I don't think they would have caught anything. I think they would have done fine, right? But I mean, there's like minor things you can overlook. Like when you're watching a show or something, you just kind of skim over that. You're like, it's not a big deal, right? And that's usually what I do, right? Something happened, man, whatever. But like when you do these major things, right? And like I said, it's like it's very noticeable by the audience. Then I think that's kind of where, these videos are coming from. This is where my little live rants are coming from, right? And and it gives topic, right? Because I don't know. I just want to get my thoughts out there. I don't think they're gonna do anything about it. They're not gonna see this rant with two people and they're gonna be like, oh, hey, we gotta change something. No, that's not how it works. But at the end of the day, if they did take something away from it, from the stuff online, supposedly there's what's it been? There's been talk of like some spin-off series or something I heard about. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know if there's a name for it. But I heard there was some spin-off Game of Thrones thing coming out. And I'm not going to lie, I would watch it. I totally would. Like that's something that would definitely interest me. But I don't know what they're going to do with it. Like maybe seeing like I mean I guess it'd be like you can't see the Doom of Valyria, but like I'd love to see like Robert's Rebellion, right? And like get into that. That'd be kind of cool. And then building up to kind of where like Robert won the throne initially. Ned kind of obviously went back to the north, kind of did his thing. That I could kind of get behind, right? But I mean at the same time, are they just gonna butcher it? I don't know. And that's what a lot of the criticism is, right? Is you got to look at it like this way too, like Fallout 76, right? Fallout 76 dropped the ball. Bethesda's always been there's obviously been problems with Bethesda games. I think there's a problem with any game out there in the world. If a game you make is perfect, you're doing something wrong. But they've been well known, right? And they've been winning awards and they've deserved it. Like these games are great. Like Skyrim, obviously, there's some fixes there. Fallout 4, there could be some fixes. Fallout 3, there could be but whatever, right? They're still good games, right? And especially the modding community has made them way better. And then they get out with Fallout 76, right? And then all of a sudden that trust goes down, right? And I think a lot of people didn't even like buy the game. They just saw how much was going on, and they're like, no, right? And and there are people making videos on it. There's still people playing. It's still got like a fan base to a degree, and that's great. And I'm happy for those people that are playing it, but I'm not touching that game. I'll play Fallout 4 and be happy. I'll play Fallout 3 and have a good time, but I'm not playing Fallout 76. And now I worry about the next Elder Scrolls, right? Because now that developer is behind that game. They've dropped the ball. What's coming next? So when I talk Game of Thrones, if they've dropped the ball in Season 8, what's stopping them from dropping the ball in the spin-off series? Nothing, right? That spin-off series comes out and it just looks crap. I'm not gonna get into it. I used to be a fan of The Walking Dead. No spoilers here, so don't worry. But just things went down, and then like last season, I just kind of gave up, and I was like, I haven't missed anything. There was like one scene in one of the episodes that kind of looked cool, and I was like, oh, maybe I'd get back into it. When that show was great was in the first friggin' episode, man, when Rick's walking around and he's just trying to figure things out. And there's just zombies, like, dead everywhere. But they're not really like zombies, right? They're just dead. So they must actually got, like, shot in the head or something. And he's not piecing it together right away. Like, he can't figure out what the hell happened. And then there's, like, the door that's got, like, dead inside written on it. And the hands are trying to come out. And he's like, like he's freaking out, like he's no idea what's happening, right? And then like you start to figure out what the walkers are and like how much of a threat they pose. And you get like in the later seasons, dude, they're walking around like barehanded, taking out zombies. Like it's just not even like a threat. And explain to me, how that's any good. I mean, I understand like the comics go one way, but you can branch, man. You can branch. Look at Marvel, dude. If you read the comics, Thanos isn't identical to the comics. There's a switch there, but the end goal is the same. Game of Thrones did that, but you know what? The middle didn't work. It'd be like grilling a hamburger and just having it raw, like just raw meat. Like it's not good for anyone, right? It's just you get the same end result. You get a hamburger, but it's still shit. And that's my fear. That's my fear. Is this new spinoff not gonna happen? It's not gonna be good. Like I'm googling right now. I'm gonna Google it. Right, let's look it up. Game of Thrones spinoff series. Let's see what. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So we got Game of Thrones spinoff. George R. Martin has given you a reason to no longer despair. The show's end on May 19th. Oh yeah. Oh dude. Oh yeah. They're working on 3. Okay. My apologies. Actually, they're working on 3 spinoffs. Here we go. So what do we got here? We got a little article here. I can put it on the screen for you guys if you want, so you don't have you don't have to just sit there and be like, oh man, I wonder what he's doing. Can I do that now? All right, let's minimize. There we go. Now we're talking. Let's get this like right here, and we'll get the screen a little bigger here for you folks. There we. Oh, there. Oh, that'll go 125. Okay, that's probably good. All right, let me know if you guys can read that just fine. I think you can. Okay, it looks fine in the stream from my view, so hopefully you guys should be fine. Okay, so here we go. We got an article here. All right, what do we got here? Okay, so he's giving you a reason. In a blog post Saturday, Game of Thrones author revealed there'd be 3 spinoffs. Okay, so that is true. The Raiders had. Okay, that's cool. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. That's fair. Oh wow, referencing earlier reports that they said there were. Okay, so there was 5 earlier, but now supposedly it's 3. That's fair. The one I'm not supposed to. The one I am not supposed to call The Long Night will be shooting later this year, and 2 other shows remain in the script stage but are edging closer. Okay, he's not supposed to call it The Long Night. Well, that'd be interesting. Oh yeah, look, it's got comments. Let's see what they say here. Awesome. We'll have 5 more series I plan to never watch again. Oh. How you doing? Well, that's awesome. Hopefully, unlike Game of Thrones, you will finish any new series before cashing in. Yeah, that's a fair point. Well, I mean, they got way ahead of the book, right? Like, and I guess that's kind of it. When they ran out of the source material, they were done. In a Just World, Arya and the Hound world become the next Game of Thrones spinoff. Oh man, if that was the next spinoff, that'd actually be kind of interesting. I'm sure. Oh, and this one too. Yeah, like that was so fucking sad, man. I don't even want to watch that scene ever again. um, yeah, like that was stupid. Just to see the dog off or the direwolf and just be like, yeah, like literally from the first episode and not even like see the direwolf off. That's just completely retarded to me. It doesn't make any feasible sense whatsoever. Like, explain to me how that made sense. Yeah, like they got a prequel in production. Great. But just a pilot. Yeah, that'll be great. Dude, like what happened, man? What happened? You know? Like what happened to the originality of this show? What happened to like tell me what got you hooked onto this show. And I'm telling you right now, it's yeah, it was that. It was like the fact that people were dying and you didn't know shit was going down. Right? That's usually how this stuff goes, right? And that's the problem, man. That is the problem. They got away from that, right? They got away from what made them what they were. And, yeah, just because you have the source material is one thing, but I think when they ran out of that is kind of when things started to dip. I don't know what season that was, though. Season 6, I want to say. Could have been a little bit earlier. Might have been a little bit later. But yeah, like I said, as soon as they ran out of source material, they were bone zone, dude. They had nothing, and that's like the biggest problem, right? It's literally that is oh hey, yeah, we ran out. It's like they can't come up with anything on their own. Like that they can, but like they didn't, obviously they didn't make good decisions. They really didn't. Like the decisions they made, dude, they're just fucking jacked. They don't make any feasible sense to me at all. Like explain to me, right? Like in Lord of the Rings. I always bring up Lord of the Rings. It's a big example of mine, and I'm gonna bring it up here again. If you ever watch Lord of the Rings, or if you haven't, you're gonna know. Well, you'll know what I mean. There'll be a group of them. There'll be 5 fucking hobbits, okay? And they're just short little people with swords that have no combat skill whatsoever. An old wizard, and like 2 fighters like Legolas, and somebody and like Aragorn, and they'll be running through this like cavern of ogres and not dwarves, sorry, like goblins and whatever. And there'll be like 10,000 of them, and they'll be pouring down from the ceiling, right? They're running down from the ceiling. They're just coming in, right? They're coming in full force, and they're coming in to kill them, right? They're not coming in there just to fucking smile at them and look at them. They're coming in to slaughter these guys, right? So like the 7 of them are running, and they'll be running on this like narrow bridge, right? And the music's playing. It's like, and they're booking it, right? They're trying to get out of there. And you're really feeling for them, right? Because these are the guys. And I'm like, every time I watch something like that, I always want them all to get killed. Like the bridge breaks, they fall down, one of them like breaks his neck, and then the other guys are like, we're fucked, and the goblins get them, right? They just swarm in there and they just gut them. And it would be satisfying. It'd be like, oh shit, right? And then that went down. Of course that never happens. So that kind of being said, I get pissed because every time they get out of there and they're just unscathed, right? I'm not even like shitting you. They're unscathed. They walk out of there like everyone's just like, man, that was easy. And they walk out of there. And it's just so unrealistic. It's like, dude, like you should all been killed. And then you get to Game of Thrones, man. And like, obviously there's spoilers in the title. Okay, I've got the episode there. There's spoilers. You should already know what's happened up till now. If you're watching and you don't know anything from season 3, okay, you've been warned. Yeah, season 3, the Red Wedding, dude. Robb Stark, he's in there with Walder Frey. He's got his beautiful wife, Talisa, or whatever her name is there. She's pregnant. They got something going on there, obviously. Got a kid on the way. Got a nice little belly going to her, right? You got to go up and like, oh my god, the baby, right? They got that going. Catelyn Stark's there. The mom, the Blackfish goes out for a piss. He's like, I'm going out for, gonna milk the old eel, out into the river. Great. And what happens is, what's his, Roose Bolton, right? And he actually, like, kind of looks down, like he's nudging, right? Fucking look, man. And they rolls up his sleeve, and he's got, like, his battle gear on underneath, right? Like, under his tunic. Like, his mesh there and stuff, right? And she instantly realizes, and dude, Talisa, the pregnant woman, gets stabbed in the gut, like, 8 times. Like, they don't even, like, finish her off. They, like, literally go to her gut and are just stabbing her, right? Like, it's brutal. And I'm there, like, the first time watching that shit, and I was like, you just don't think anything. It's a wedding. It's going to be great. Like, they made amends for Walder Frey. Nope, she's dead. And then, like, Robb's, like, 8 arrows into him, like, from crossbows. The man's a fucking legend, man. He gets up, like, barely surviving that. Catelyn gets her throat slit. Like, all the Northmen are dying. Like, dude, like, half the main cast is just slaughtered in an instant, right? Now, that's what I'm talking about, right? I'm not saying that, like, a show has to do that kind of stuff to be good. I'm really not. That's just, and sorry, I'm just actually working on Skyrim here on the other monitor, so if I'm distracted, that's what's going on. I'm trying to figure out how to get some mods to work here, so my apologies. But yeah, like, that kind of being said, it's absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, the fact that they could pull that off like seasons ago and they just can't now, that's what amazes me. But I think what really happened there, and again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, especially in this stream here, is that yeah, they ran out of source material. Like they literally ran out and they were just like, fuck, right? And we got nothing else, right? And they were done, right? And so I'm just trying to read something here, but I don't know what's going on here. Just 1 second there. Okay. All right. Anyway, but yeah. So that kind of being said, it is what it is, man. Game of Thrones, it fucking sucks. This season is just trash. I mean, I'm saying the same things over and over now again at this point. You know, and there's really not much else to say here. You guys kind of got the idea. So I don't know. I kind of want to rank on some other things, but I only put the title here to Game of Thrones. You know, I could just put it to live rant and just start shitting on something else because I kind of want to keep going here. I'm doing pretty good. You know, or I feel so anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Once I just start ranting like this, I just kind of keep going, which is usually how it goes. Anyway, I'm just looking up some mods for Skyrim, so nothing much going on there. But anyway, okay, maybe that'll be it. Just keep this as Game of Thrones, and like I said, we'll do like a Marvel one tomorrow night, because I kind of want to talk about the Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. And of course, I want to shit on them a little bit, but I want to have a good time with it, because I want to talk about Thanos and why I think he's the best villain of all time. But we hit 35 minutes. That's actually pretty good. 35 minutes of just straight up ranting. So... You know, I'm pretty glad that you know, I made it. But anyway, so just that kind of being said, there, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. And if you're also just watching, like normally, just like just on YouTube itself, you know, again, thanks for kind of coming in and checking out the vid. But if you're watching live, that's awesome too. You guys have any topics you ever want me to cover? Like in my rant videos, just be sure to drop them in the comments or something. I'll do any, as long as they're not too ridiculous, right? They got to be kind of reasonable, right? But I think with that kind of being said, you know, I really like where the channel's going, and I like the growth of it. We're gonna be doing the live streams. I kind of want to do one. Honestly, I want to do these like twice a week, and just get on the camera for like 30-35 minutes. But I kind of want to have them a little bit more planned. Just so you kind of know, right? You can kind of jump into that live stream if you want, and you'll know when it's going to be. But just for now, we're going to keep it just how it is. Just where my schedule is a little bit more hectic at the moment, where we're trying to figure things out, right? Trying to get around some things. So it's a little bit more unpredictable. But once my schedule kind of settles down and I get something a little bit more secure, obviously we'll be doing that. Absolutely, hands down. Now, again, thank you so much for watching, whether, again, you're live or you're coming in after. Appreciate the support on the channel. We're going to sign off. That's going to be it for the stream tonight there, folks. Just a quick little one, 37 minutes. That ain't bad. I milked another minute, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. I milked a minute by thank you guys for watching, or girls. And like I said, join me tomorrow night, probably maybe around the same time. Probably around the same time. We'll be, again, talking about Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. Spoilers, of course. We'll be talking about plot. You know, that's something that you should just kind of be going off of anyway. If you see the title, you should just be getting out of there if you haven't seen it, or you just don't want to be spoiled. I'm just going to sit here for 10 more seconds to milk it to 38 minutes. So, yeah, anyway. So, as soon as it hits 38 minutes, I'm canceling the stream, or I'm going to close it down, and that's going to be it. So,